DeMar DeRozan says that the 2019 Raptors would have won the 2019 NBA championship with or without Kawhi. I disagree with it. And you can argue that DeMar, he kind of plays similarly to Kawhi offensively. But in terms of defense, Kawhi is light years ahead of a guy like DeMar. So to have just that excellent all-time two-way piece on your team, that's really significant because you can have a great offensive player, but a scoring wing isn't the most demanding job in the NBA. You can find a lot of scoring wings that don't contribute to winning basketball that much. Look at Zach LaVine. Look at even DeMar, right, for Chicago. That experiment failed entirely. So I think having Kawhi, he just adds another element completely with his defense, his all-NBA, all-defensive team caliber defense. There's no doubt that Kawhi Leonard was crucial to winning that championship, in my opinion. So I don't agree with the fact that you would have won. I disagree with that statement entirely from DeMar DeRozan. I think that they would have been a very good team, yes, but I think Kawhi takes you to that next level. You can see a good team with a lot of depth in the NBA all the time, but then they need a star to really take them to the next level, and that's exactly what Kawhi Leonard was. So I do not think they would have won the 2019 championship without Kawhi Leonard. I think really Kawhi all time, his ranking is it's very interesting to me because his finals MVPs, they come at times where you wouldn't really expect them to, because his first one in 2013 and 2014 in San Antonio, that was when he was kind of coming into his own. He was still a really young player, and his years after that in San Antonio were his best. And then for the Raptors, that was arguably peak Kawhi. But guess what? He only spent 1 year with the Raptors, and he led them to a championship in that 1 year. So Kawhi, and then with the Clippers moving on after that Toronto season with the Clippers, you've got this great duo of him and Paul George, but it never really amounted to much. And now they moved on from Paul George, and that experiment just didn't work out. But so yeah, Kawhi all time, I think his finals MVPs, it's really interesting how they come at times where you wouldn't expect them. But I do not think the 2019 Raptors will win without Kawhi. We need to give him all the flowers. He deserves all the flowers for that ring. And you had other key contributors on that roster as well. But if you put DeMar in his place, you would not have won that championship. If you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could find it in you to like, subscribe, maybe check out the full podcast on Spotify. Follow us on there. Follow us on Instagram. I know realistically this podcast isn't going to go anywhere ultimately, whether it's via the segments on YouTube or the entire podcast itself. But I want to get into the sports broadcasting business. I want to be able to promote thought-provoking discussions about the NBA, and I would love to do it via State of the Association. Thank you if you made it all the way through.